Hey friends, Tuesday night. I'm in the library tonight. I love the sanctuary, but sometimes at certain times of the evening, that sun comes in so bright that there's the lighting in there is just way too overwhelming. So I moved it in here for tonight. And I assume throughout the spring and summer, it's just going to get even more bold and beautiful. So anyway, tonight, this message is for the parents out there. At whatever stage of parenting you are in, whether it's babies, maybe toddlers, maybe elementary education age, tweens, teens, adult children, this message is for you. It's mainly for the parents who are parenting tweens, younger than that, and then the teen years. But some of you can maybe listen to this and reflect back to when you were parents of this age group. And if you have anything to share, feel free to say something in the comments. But the message tonight is basically how God's plans succeed even when our kids fail. And I want to tell you right now, I have failed many, many times as a kid and as a parent. And my mom's on here right now, so I know she can vouch for me that she would probably stand up for me and say that I didn't fail, but I know that I did. So I want to share a story with you tonight by a woman named Susan Cruz. This is her experience of something that happened with her and her son his senior year of high school. So listen to this. Possibly my most embarrassing moment as a parent happened during my son's senior year in high school. A late spring, a phone call from his English teacher alerted me that his grades were inadequate to graduate on time. The smartest person in our family was failing his senior year of high school because of the dumbest thing. He refused to complete his in-class English assignment. Ironically, when he was in 6th grade, my son's reading comprehension was at a 12th grade level, and he wanted to pursue an English major in college. Facing the fact that I had a child who might not graduate from high school was humiliating and unbelievable. Shock waves rippled through our entire extended family. I sent no graduation announcements, unsure that we would attend. When confronted with the issue, he offered no explanation or excuse. He simply shrugged. It was apparent I was more concerned than he was. Since I enjoyed school and making good grades, it was difficult for me to understand his motives and choices. I often wondered what his thoughts were concerning his future. He always told me not to worry about it, but I did. Throughout the long days of uncertainty, the scripture cited during his baby dedication and one I frequently pray kept returning to me. That's one of my favorites too. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. God sent this message to the Israelites while they were captives in a foreign land. He encouraged them to settle down and get comfortable because it was going to be many years before they would return home. Knowing that God knew them, had a plan for them, and had promised a future full of hope must have comforted them in their uncertain circumstance, especially since their rescue wasn't imminent. The Hebrew word for hope is tikva, which literally means cord. Its root is kava, meaning bind together, wait for, or wait upon, which I think it's hard for us to wait well. Like the Israelites, when we are in uncertain situations, if we bind ourselves to God's promises, then we can trust Him for the things we long for. Though it may not happen as quickly as we would like, God can be trusted to fulfill His plans for us, give us what we hope for, and give us security in our waiting because we have tethered ourselves to Him. When we allow ourselves to believe in the plan of God, we will always be filled with the hope of God. Eventually, my son graduated on time and was bold enough to tell me, "See, I told you I would graduate." Although this was not the worst trial I endured with my son, it was a big one. The impact of his apathy was greater than he could understand. He appeared oblivious to the consequences of his actions, while I considered the options for his future. At the time, there wasn't anything funny about it, but I can now laugh about the ordeal, seeing how God worked out his plan in favor of my son's future. Following years of failure, he finally sees the value of education and the folly of his choices in high school. When our plans and our people are failing, our rescuer throws out a lifeline of hope to lead us into our future filled with good things like his love, mercy, and grace. Because of his kind heart, God binds himself to us and will never let us go. He will deliver what we long for. As long as we stay close to him, we have no need to fear what is ahead. The cord binding us together with him is strong. It yokes us to him and the future that he has planned for us. Only when we attempt to stray from him is when we will face an uncertain future. While we wait, let's take God at his word and bind ourselves to his promises, his plan to prosper us and not harm us, his plan to give us what we long for after many uncertain days spent with our prodigals. Let's settle down where he has placed us and believe there is hope for a bright future, even if it's years away, waiting with you. I love this story that she shared. I don't have something just like it, but I will say that in the stage of parenting that I'm in currently, it's just very different from what the years leading up to this have been. When we're parents of babies, we have lots of sleepless nights for reasons that are very obvious, which is babies don't sleep through the night, so you don't sleep through the night. Then they get a little bit older and they start sleeping through the night, but there are other fears and worries that we have. And then they get a little bit older and a little bit more independent, and you kind of step back a little bit and allow them to kind of go out, not too far, but they go out a little bit, making their own decisions. And then we come into this tween-teen time. And this is a tough one for a lot of reasons, but I have some good things that I want to share and things to kind of give you hope and give you some reasons to keep going and keep trying and keep inserting yourselves in their lives, even when they want nothing to do with you. Because I know that happens. It happens to me. It happens to the people that I talk to, that we share ideas and different parenting styles and things like that. So this woman named Whitney Fleming says this: how do teens know how to hit us where it hurts? She says, because they're smart. They just do and say not so smart things. They might blame you for their problems. They might say you are too strict or too controlling. They can make you feel like an idiot. They will make bad decisions that they know deep down are not your fault. Somehow you will still believe it's your fault. They will break your rules and break your trust. They will break your heart with their words, their actions, or a glaring stare. Some problems will be bigger, but they will all feel like big ones. Knowing this, just knowing this, doesn't prepare you for the surge of emotions that you will feel when it happens to you. And you will wonder what you did wrong, what you did to make this happen. How did this happen? Everyone tells you to enjoy every second of the young years because it goes by so fast. And I remember people saying that to me. And at the moment, you feel dismissed as a parent who's raising toddlers or just a little bit older than that. You feel like what you're going through means nothing because they're telling you to enjoy it. And at the moment, you're not enjoying it. And I look back at that time and I think, I know why they said this to me. I know why they said, enjoy it because it goes fast. Because it does. But they weren't telling me to not enjoy what's to come, or to what am I trying to say? To not be present, or to not be present later. What they were saying is enjoy every second, even though you don't want to, because they grow up and they move on and you still view them as this 5-year-old child. And it took me a while to figure that out. but I did figure it out that that's what they were saying. I don't know if anybody else struggles with this. I know Bo and I talk about it a lot, especially now. But what we want to do is celebrate all the beautiful moments, because there are so many beautiful moments. And it would be easy to give up and stop trying to insert yourselves in their lives or their day, or ask all the questions that you know they're tired of hearing, that they're tired of answering, that you get one-word answers for. But you still need to do it. You need to be there. Instead of giving up or walking away or saying, I just don't feel like it today, choose to lean in. Choose to move toward the pain, the betrayals of trust and the mistakes. Choose to let go of the control of how their choices reflect on you. And every day, choose to forgive again and again and again and again. I also choose to say that no matter what you do to my child, or what you say, or what mistakes you make, there is nothing you can do that will make me not love you, or that will make me love you less. And that is who we are to God. He's our Father. We might disappoint, we might betray His trust, we might do some of those things that we feel like our teens are doing to us, but He's not going anywhere, just like you're not going anywhere. I choose to believe that they still need me. And at this stage of parenting, even though it's beautiful and painful at the same time, we have to embrace all of it. Someone told me one time to develop a thick skin while keeping a tender heart. And that's a very tricky thing to do, because you want to be the same parent that you feel like you've been all of these years, that they just needed you and wanted you to be there. And then you feel like maybe you're not so needed, or they don't want you there. But deep down, you have to know that they do. And I do believe this. It's a similar relationship that we have with God. We break His heart. We say mean things. We blame Him for big problems. We break rules. We break trust. We mess up. But He is constant. He is always there. And that's a good feeling that we have, to know that He's there. Just as your kids need to know that when they mess up, and it's a big one, you're there. And you still love them just as much as you did the day before. So those painful moments that are really hard and challenging, we have to be there. We have to show up. We need to seek His guidance, not only for the way that we parent, but seek His guidance in their lives, because they may not be seeking it right now. They may not know how to ask for that. Even though we tell them, we show them how to pray, we talk to them about God and Jesus and having a relationship, they may not know how to do that. So I do think as a parent, it's our responsibility to speak on their behalf to God. If I have learned anything about this stage of parenting, I would say it's to be there, to listen to the little things, the everyday little things that might seem like not a big deal to you, because when it is a big deal, they will come to you because you've been there for the little things. I do know that. And the other thing is not to judge other parents that are doing things that you say, I would never do that. I would never allow my kid to do that. Because you don't know until you're there. And just because you don't want it to happen, or you're not ready for it to happen, like the driving or the dating or the making all the plans without you or doing all of these social life things, they're ready for it. You may not be, but they are. And so it's our job to help guide them and to help them make the decisions that they might fail. They probably will. And they are going to need a safe place to allow those pieces to fall, and then we help them pick them up. So for all the sleepless nights we had when they were babies and toddlers, here we go again with the sleepless nights, because they're driving and because they're making plans with friends and they're doing things and they're coming home past our bedtime as parents. And that's a hard thing, especially for me. I'm not a night owl. I kind of hit a brick wall at about 10 o'clock. And so if there are any plans that happen after that, I try to I try to stay up on the couch, but it doesn't always happen. So we have to know that our job right now is to wait. Wait while they're in practice. Encourage them when they get down on themselves. It's a lot of waiting, and that's okay. They need to know that we're going to be there. Bottom line, be there. One of my daughters told me just recently that she said, Mom, you've taught us well, and you've told us all the things. Now you have to trust. And she's right. It's time to trust. The foundation has been set, and it's not an easy thing to do, but I am right there with you if any of you are in this same stage or going to be in this stage sometime soon. We need to support each other as parents. So I just want to say thanks for being here tonight, and I will see you guys next week.